Coming up next, the family of a 14-year-old girl found in the barracks at Camp Pendleton speaks out.
An e-bike safety course before the new school year begins in Carlsbad.
3 people dead after 2 helicopters collide while fighting a vegetation fire. We'll have the details from Riverside County.
New energy storage in the South Bay, how it could help power your home.
And Daniel Ukon, a lost boy from Sudan, shares his story of survival.
And should you really treat a wound with rubbing alcohol? We verify. CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Tonight we're hearing from the family of a 14-year-old girl who was missing for more than 2 weeks before being found in a Camp Pendleton barracks. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. The family says the girl was sex trafficked and raped. CBS 8's David Gottfredson spoke to the girl's aunt, who said no charges have been filed against the Marine who was found with the girl.
She was raped by a Marine at Camp Pendleton. His identity is still unknown.
Cassandra Perez and her family want answers about a U.S. Marine who was found on Camp Pendleton with their 14-year-old niece. The girl had been missing for more than 2 weeks when she was located inside a barracks on June 28th.
We don't know what's going on. They have not provided anything.
The girl's aunt spoke at a news conference Monday along with the founder of Community X to bring awareness to the case.
The family is saying that they believe their relative was trafficked, potentially purchased, and then ended up in the Pendleton barracks.
The girl went missing on June 10th from her home in Spring Valley, where she lives with her grandmother. On June 28th, an unidentified Marine was taken into custody for questioning, but no charges were filed. A report in the news outlet military.com said the teenager met the Marine on the dating app Tinder and that she pretended to be age 22. The girl's aunt says there's no mistaking her niece for an adult.
There's no doubt about it. She looks like a child. There's not even, if she puts makeup on, she does not look like an adult. She's not even like the size of an adult. Like, it's very, very obvious she is a child.
NCIS emailed me a statement saying, quote, "The investigation into this matter remains active and ongoing. No charges have been filed at this time. Out of respect for the investigative process, NCIS will not comment further." Any potential crime that happened off base would be under the jurisdiction of the Sheriff's Department or the California DOJ. The family believes the girl may have been sex trafficked before she was taken onto Camp Pendleton.
The sex trafficking group involved in this case is separate and distinct from Camp Pendleton and the Marine, and there has been no investigation into that side of this case at all whatsoever.
The Sheriff's Department would not comment, saying it's an ongoing investigation, but a spokesperson said the Department of Justice has a task force looking into criminal charges in this matter. In Golden Hill, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thanks, David. The family is calling for a protective order prohibiting the Marine from contacting the teenager, but those types of orders typically only happen after charges are filed. The San Diego Police Department has taken over the investigation of a shooting by La Mesa police. It's standard procedure for another department to step in and investigate shootings involving officers. Police say 2 La Mesa officers made contact with a felony suspect late yesterday afternoon on University Avenue near La Mesa Boulevard. The officers say when they were approaching the man, he pulled a gun and tried to fire at them, but the gun seemed to malfunction and the man ran away. The officers say it looked like he was trying to clear the gun to fire another shot when one of them shot at him multiple times. The man died at the scene and his identity has not been released.
Today, mayors across San Diego County signed a declaration pledging to work together to address homelessness. CBS 8's Abby Black talked to some of the mayors who may not all agree, but today they did find some common ground.
San Diego's encampment ban is the latest development in addressing homelessness, but that was not the topic of conversation. Rather, it was mayors agreeing to work together to get the 10,000 people in San Diego County experiencing homelessness off the streets. Still, mayors have different approaches.
This is the declaration mayors in San Diego County signed today, pledging to work together as a region to address homelessness.
I've been critical of other cities for not doing their fair share when it comes to stepping up on our homelessness crisis. And what today resulted in was 12 mayors showing up and saying that they understand this is the #1 issue in our county.
San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria says for years the city has carried much of the weight in addressing homelessness and providing shelter beds. In the next year, he's looking forward to the district attorney's up-and-coming app that can be a database and tracking the needs for homeless individuals and a dashboard that shows what shelter beds are available.
We have to be regional in this approach, and I think there's a way that we can work collectively as cities to try and help expedite those processes, make sure that when there's a bed available and there's someone who wants it, that we match them to it quickly so that we end their homelessness and then move on to the next individual.
Housing first is the approach by many mayors, but not El Cajon Mayor Bill Wells.
You're never going to solve this problem unless you address the real root problem, which is mental health and drug addiction issues. And so I've really focused on that.
The San Diego Rescue Mission, who hosted the second annual Closed Door Symposium, says having these conversations is critical.
Homelessness knows no zip code.
San Diego Rescue Mission President and CEO Donnie D says a task force was created to keep that conversation going on regionally addressing homelessness.
We're going to facilitate conversation around what would it look like to do outreach regionally? What would it look like to shelter regionally? What would it look like to pool resources so that we can offer facilities regionally?
Leaders say these are conversations that need to be had to hold each other accountable.
My hope is that between this meeting this year and next year, what we can point to is tangible progress.
Abby Black, CBS 8.
All right, it's hard to believe, but it's time to get ready for cooler temperatures, possibly even rain and a chance of thunderstorms this week.
Meteorologist Sean Stiles is here now with a first look at your microclimate forecast. Sean, I think earlier this year we would have been hard-pressed to say we want more rain, but boy, we'll take it now.
Sure. Yeah, and some cooler temperatures too.
Absolutely.
And we're going to do a verify here as well. If you have an Apple phone and your Apple app has told you rain is coming to San Diego in the next 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to verify that with this, your very own eyes. Take a look outside right now. Skies are clear from San Miguel Mountain all the way out to the tip of Point Loma. So if your Apple app is telling you a possibility of rain, it's wrong. Excessive heat warning exists out in the East County mountains and into the deserts. That expires at 8 p.m. tonight. That is good news. This is what might send us some rain. This is what was a tropical storm Eugene, now a post-tropical storm, and it is just falling apart. But the cloud shield, all that moisture is going to get caught up in the flow over the west and get pulled into Southern California, primarily San Diego. So we could see as early as tomorrow morning some light sprinkles along the coastline, thunderstorms over the mountains in the afternoon, and their residual moisture could stick around into Wednesday morning. Not very likely, however, just want to let you know that there is some rain possibly coming our way tomorrow. I'll have your 8-day forecast in just a bit.
Thanks, Sean. An increase in e-bike collisions has led to an increase in e-bike safety. Today, local parents and students attended a safety class in Carlsbad.
CBS 8's Ariana Cohen tells us students must complete this course in order to get a permit that they need if they want to ride their e-bike to school.
The Carlsbad Police Department and the Carlsbad Unified School District are teaming up to host safety classes so that students are ready to ride e-bikes safely before the new school year begins.
Today, Carlsbad Police Department's certified bike instructors are going over all the rules and regulations for both bike and e-bike riders in front of Carlsbad students and parents at Sage Creek High School. Once students complete the class, they will be eligible to receive a free permit in order to park their bikes on school campuses. This all came about after the city of Carlsbad declared a traffic emergency following a big spike in bike crashes and sadly the death of a 35-year-old mother in Carlsbad last year. She was on an e-bike with her toddler when a car hit them. Her daughter survived, but she did not. And just last month in Encinitas, a teen was killed while riding an e-bike.
I have seen kids just running stop signs, not stopping, riding in the middle of the street, which seems super unsafe, you know, just because of the other drivers might not recognize that they're there. So I think this class is really going to help.
There's been more than a 200% increase in bike and e-bike collisions since 2019, according to the city of Carlsbad. The Safer Streets Together campaign focuses on increasing public education, re-engineering city streets, and increasing enforcement.
It's important to get this out because the increase in e-bikes is only going to continue as time goes on and they become more readily available. And if we can get our students and parents educated early on, then it only enhances everyone's safety.
It's very important because you need to follow the safety precautions because you could die.
By the end of the year, Carlsbad police say they expect 500 students to complete the program.
Students who participate in these classes receive a credit from the school district, which is responsible for issuing permits. Reporting in Carlsbad, I'm Ariana Cohen for CBS 8.
Those bikes are so convenient for families who don't have to maybe drive their kids to school now. Some of them, they're great, but they move quickly, and it's great to see these kinds of efforts to keep them safe.
It is important. You know, you learn a lot during driver's education to drive a vehicle, and it's the same rules of the road, so you have to be aware when cars are going to turn, who has the right of way, so it's great that they're making a difference, hopefully in safety as well.
Absolutely. The San Diego Humane Society, in the meantime, is getting some help with its big problem of too many small animals in its care. About 300 of them are being sent to shelters in Arizona.
Hundreds of rabbits, guinea pigs, and rats are headed to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona in Tucson. The mass transport is the largest in the Humane Society's history, and it's going to alleviate the overwhelmed shelter.
We're way over capacity, and this was really necessary for us to relieve some of the pressure on our shelter. We have nearly 2,500 pets in our care.
Right now, about 1,100 pets are available for adoption at the San Diego Humane Society campuses. They are at 175% capacity for dogs, 176% capacity for cats. So if you are looking to add a member to your home, still summer, a couple weeks left. Maybe as the kids go back to school, you add a new pet to the home.
Either way,
get into the routine.
There's plenty of them to choose from.
Yeah.